All right, new year, new me. New year, new me. Yes, I have on a wave cap. Yes, it's giving very ghetto today, but just work with me. I did what I was supposed to do at the gym. 2 hours later, yeah, my hair was a mess. It was a mess, but I felt like I made progress. I started working out with this 12-pound weighted vest. I love, thanks to my husband. Okay. So today, really quick, I'm not gonna stay for a good time, not a long time. I really want to talk about making room. I had such a great session today with one of my clients, and making room seems to be the theme. And I think it'll be the theme of the year, the experience is making room. And we have to first ask ourselves, what have we made room for currently? What do we make room for? Are we making room for the right people, the right experiences, the things that feed us, the things that invest in us, the things that make us feel good, the things that warm our hearts, the things that feed us, the things that help make us feel safe and secure? What things have we invested in and making room for? And what things have we not at all made room for that are harming us, that are hurting for us? Excuse me. What things have we made room for that are harming us, that are hurting us, that are not respecting our boundaries, that are not listening to us, that are not accepting us as we are and as we show up and how we show up? What things are we making room for that don't create a safe space for us, that don't provide security for us, that allow us or bring out the worst of us? What things are we making space for? Are we making space for things that once was helpful and wonderful, but no longer is no longer? And because we hold on to those memories and those ideals, we refuse to let it go. Are we continuing to make space when there doesn't need to be space for that, when we can be making space for something else? You know, Cleaning out our spaces so integral, not only to starting a new year, but consistently throughout the year, through our lifespan, to make room. That's not different in our lives. How often are we making room? Making room does not just imply to physically making room for things. When we buy a new couch, what do? We make room for the new couch by throwing out the old one. When we want to make room for a new car, usually we have to get rid of one if we don't have space, right? How do we make room physically? And how does that parallel to how we need to make room emotionally and psychologically? There's only so much we can endure, can experience, can compartmentalize, can keep. So we have to move some things out to move some new things in. How often are we revitalizing our space, clearing out our space, revisiting our friendships, rethinking our relationships, rethinking our workspace? Y'all, work should not be traumatic. I know that you know, we need to eat and we need to live and we need a roof over our head and we need clothes on our back. And we have to ask ourselves, to what end are we willing to make that happen? And how much are we willing to put ourselves through to do it? Some things are temporary, some things are long term, and some things are just for the moment or the season. You have to determine how you've made room for that. It's not always about the space, it's about us. A lot of times we will endure toxic, I hate the word toxic, but for the sake of this conversation, we will endure toxicity and harmful workspaces and make the excuse that we have to make a living for our family, when we know damn well there are other spaces and ways we can make room for our family. We can make money to take care of ourselves and our family. Looking for a job is a job. So even if we have a job, we can actively be looking for one. Oftentimes, they serve our interests in some way, shape, or form. Oftentimes, we benefit from them and prioritize it in a way that works for us at that particular time. And then when it no longer serves us, we want to beat up the place because we continue to engage in it. Make it make sense. Make room. Make room for new experiences. Make room for new opportunities. Make room for a new job. Make room for a new spouse. Make room for better relationships with your children and your friends and your parents. Make room for those things. The more that you shut it out, the less room you have. You can limit your space. That's something you can do. Someone else cannot limit your space. You can limit your space. I cannot stand this. You have all good lip gloss, good lip stuff. Make room. Oftentimes we are our own worst enemies. That is very cliche to say, but very true. We are the people that create barriers for us. We are the people that keep ourselves in harmful spaces and work environments and relationships. We are the one that justify our decisions to keep harming ourselves. Hurt and harm will happen as we are humans, but it doesn't have to be constant or consistent. How are we participating in that? That is something you most certainly have to ask yourself. Make room. Make room for something new, someone new. Make room for ideas. Make room for possibilities. Make room for things that you thought could never be, but are absolutely in your space of realm of possibility. Make room. Don't limit yourself to what you know because it feels comfortable. Don't limit yourself to that because you'll be limited to that your entire life. Open yourself up to possibilities. I know that it's challenging. I know it can be scary. It is most certainly scary for me. Very scary, but certainly necessary. And the risk, the risk, can be worth all of it. Make room. I'm sure there are so many times in your life you made room for things you were not quite sure how they would turn out, especially relationships, because you can only assess. You do not know the outcome. But you had to make room. You had to make room for a new friend at some point. You had to make room for new ideas, new opportunities, new possibilities for yourself, for your family. You had to do it, and you did it. And even if it wasn't the exact outcome that you were looking for, you got the one that you needed at that particular time. You did your best. This is your opportunity to do whatever your best is currently, because I'm sure that it is more than what your best was before. Make room. That is a big statement, and it requires a lot of us to make room, especially for new ideas about people. Oftentimes, we are so connected to what we want to believe about people because it protects us, or at least we believe it does. When oftentimes it limits our room, it limits our space, limits our capacity for new things, new ideas, new opportunities, new people. Out of fear, we let fear control our space. Make room. This is your opportunity. I'll be checking back in with you to see how it goes. Okay, take care of yourself.